Welcome everybody. So here's the video that everybody's seen. This is of that blowout on the interstate. It's coming up very shortly. This RV suffers a blowout on the driver's side front, and then it gets sucked down into the ditch fairly quickly. Driver makes a good save right there not to go into the oncoming lane of traffic. Ultimately it flips over. And here is another version. I've slowed it down in key spots, so let's take a peek. Here is the RV going through. And then once I slow it down, you'll see the rear end kind of shake. I believe that's when the blowout happens. Then we're going to slow it down even more. We're going to get an up-close view. You can see that light come on. That is not a brake light. That is his turn signal. I think that's the RV driver trying to correct the steer. And I don't know if he let off on the gas or what, but he gets sucked down. He or she gets sucked down. Saves these two cars. You can see how he tried to get it. He or she tried to get it lined up. Didn't work out. And then the RV tips over to the side.
I am not a tire professional. You're responsible for your own safety. I would also like to thank the Louisiana State Police for allowing me to use that video. When dealing with these tires, the #1 cause for blowouts is overexertion of the tires, basically putting too much weight on the tires past what they're rated for, and also the inflation of the tires. It's a very, very good idea to check your tires before each time you drive. What happens a lot of time in the spring, people will have their RVs sitting all winter, and when they go to take them out for the first time in the season, they don't think about the tires, and then blowouts happen. The very first time I watched the video, I thought the driver hit the brakes. I thought that's what caused the dive down into the ditch. But after reviewing the video and zooming in, as you just saw, the driver didn't hit the brakes. I think that light that we saw is as the driver was going down the road, he or she tried to correct the steering, and then when he or she did, they bumped the turn signal, and that's what that flash of light we saw. Those were not the brakes. What I think may have happened, I'm not too sure. I'd have to ask the driver that was driving at the time, but I think what happened was they let off the gas. And the reason why I think that is, when a blowout happens, you're not supposed to hit the brake, you're not supposed to let off the gas pedal, you're actually supposed to accelerate. And let me explain. If I'm driving down the interstate or highway and this tire blows out, there is going to be a force pulling the RV this way. And if you hit the brakes, the momentum, that force is going to be magnified. So what you're supposed to do is hit the gas. What that does is it puts the momentum forward. It keeps you going straight. It takes away from the side momentum trying to pull you down. Now, if that driver, if they did, we know they didn't hit the brakes, but what they might have done was let off the gas. So that puts all that force that's driving it forward off the back wheels, it puts all that force down on the front of the RV. It pushes the RV down, and I think that's what happened in that video. So I'm not saying that you're supposed to accelerate and gain speed. You're just supposed to accelerate enough to the point to where you regain control. And you want to keep your foot on the gas, start feathering back, and what's going to happen as well, you're going to have to steer away from the blowout. So say this is my front passenger side. If I'm the driver, I need to steer in the counterclockwise position to keep the RV under control. Once I get it under control, I can start feathering off, and from what I've read online, from suggestions people have messaged me, is you should wait till you're 25 miles per hour or lower, just until you feel comfortable. Take your time. And you know, it might completely ruin this rim. But I mean, if you look at that video, if you really look at it, that is absolutely nothing. Even if the tire comes off, starts scraping your insides, like messes up your finish, obviously that is not that big of a deal. Your safety is way more important than, you know, cosmetic problems. And I'm not going to self-promote here, but what I did is I got a TPMS sensor. That's one of the first things I bought before I even hit the road. What I'm getting at is your preventative maintenance, you keeping an eye on your tires, is going to be the #1 thing. Doing whatever is not going to make 7-year-old tires brand new. You're going to have to keep your tires in shape. You're going to have to keep an eye on them. Like I said, I personally use a TPMS system that keeps track of the temperature and the PSI as I'm going down the road, because I'm a very cautious person. And, you know, I know that front end blowouts are, some of the biggest safety concerns for RVs. And the same procedure goes for the rear tires as well. If you have a blowout in the rear, same thing. You accelerate until you gain control, and then you can slow down from there. So once again, everybody, I am not a professional. This is from the research I did and from the messages people sent me. There's a lot of great information out there. You can check out other videos besides this, but 100% the best thing you can do is prevent a blowout, and there's many different ways you can do that. I do that personally by TPMS system. Some people believe in them, some people do not. I have one. And also just keeping an eye on your tires, like make sure you're keeping up with them. And if a blowout occurs, because me personally, I didn't know about this till I saw the video. So I think this is a great opportunity for people to learn. And then in the future, if Lord forbid you do have a blowout, you'll act accordingly. You won't hit the brakes out of panic, and you'll keep you and your passengers safe.